Matthew Macfadyen is brilliant in this drama about a member of parliament who fakes his own death.
Who's banging on the door?
John Stonehouse.
Oh, yes, Stonehouse.
Hello and welcome to Screen OD, the channel for people who love TV, movies and streaming. My name is Tim. I'm an editor and a journalist who has been writing and talking about the media industry for more than 15 years. And today we are talking about a show that is based on real events. Now, this is very much the style of the time. There have been loads and loads of shows in the last year or so that are inspired by or based on true events. And on this occasion, we are looking at the life of John Stonehouse, who was a Labour MP in the 1970s, who was in fact Postmaster General at one stage and a member of the Harold Wilson government. Now, he got himself into some bother, as we'll see in this programme, and he ends up faking his own death in Miami. But this is a story that it's extraordinary.
First rung on the ladder.
Who knows where it will lead? I'd like to open a new account.
Another one.
What are you doing?
Unfortunately, I have to go away.
Okay, so what's this one all about? Well, John Stonehouse is a story that some people may remember. They may also remember that it happened around the same time as the disappearance of Lord Lucan, which actually segues nicely into this story at one point as well. John Stonehouse was an MP in the Labour Party in the 1970s. He became a part of the Harold Wilson government, firstly in aviation, and then went on to be Postmaster General. Now, in his first position in aviation, the story tells us he went on a trip to Czechoslovakia. He ends up sleeping with the woman who is his translator. This is filmed by the Czech government and used to blackmail him into spying for them. Now, he doesn't turn out to be the greatest spy in the world, as we see in the series, and his character is played brilliantly by Matthew Macfadyen, who takes on the role of somewhat of a comic and buffoon-like character at different points during this show. Now, Stonehouse manages to start opening bank accounts and use the money that he's receiving from the Czechoslovakian, as it is then, government to build up somewhat of a business empire. However, these businesses are all kind of going wrong, and when things start to get ugly, it looks like there's no way out for him. He is living with his wife, Barbara, who is played by Matthew Macfadyen's real-life wife, Keeley Hawes, in the series, who, as always, is excellent in the show. He also has children, and he's bought a big house that he now can't really afford. When it comes out in the newspapers that he has been involved in what looked like some fairly suspicious financial affairs, he sees there is no way out for him, and he plots a plan with his secretary, it turns out, to go to fake his own death. So off he goes to Miami, and he leaves his clothes on the beach, he goes for a swim, and he never seemingly returns from that swim. But of course, what he's actually done is he's left some other clothes somewhere else, he's swum over there, and he's gone to start a new life in Australia. And his plan is that his secretary will come out to Australia and meet him, and they'll start a new life using the name of a constituent that he has stolen, who has died.
It is now 5 days since the Labour MP, John Stonehouse, disappeared off this beach in Florida.
We can't have one of our MPs faking his own death. Might give the others ideas.
He's always been a very strong swimmer.
You let us believe that you were dead.
You see, we have reason to suppose that this isn't your real name.
I thought we were going to be together. Two of us.
It's just a few details to iron out.
I don't want to spoil exactly what happens, and if you're not a student of history, you may not have read this story. And of course, this is a drama, so there's lots of things invented around the edges, I'm sure, to make it even more exciting to watch. But what I will say is that things don't go to plan. And when in Australia, in Melbourne, things don't go to plan, it starts to get even more complicated for John Stonehouse.
15 charges of forgery, theft and fraud.
You thought you could have it all, didn't you, John?
this is one of those kind of shows that's just really watchable, very, very compelling television. This is driven by a few different things. It's, of course, an intriguing, a fascinating story, one that feels quite unbelievable. It's got great writing underneath it. In fact, it shares writing with the Very English Scandal, which is a fantastic piece of literature, and, of course, television show which tells the story of Jeremy Thorpe, which, if you haven't seen, you should go and watch. That stars Hugh Grant. But also at the heart of it is something that doesn't take itself too seriously. From the off, this is a drama that is unafraid to have humour at the centre of it, and most of that comes from the portrayal of Stonehouse that is given by Matthew Macfadyen, who is absolutely at the top of his game in this show. He plays this character as someone who's kind of breezing through life, who's kind of almost intrigued by the possibilities of what it could be like to do some spying. And yes, he's of course not necessarily someone who wants to leave his family and go and do this death faking thing that ends up happening. However, he is the sort of person who will go and do it, and the way that he's portrayed in the series by Macfadyen is absolutely fantastic, given that also he's playing opposite his real life wife Keeley Hawes. They haven't acted together very often, certainly not in recent times. It's really good to see the interplay between those two, and Keeley Hawes plays his wife Barbara, who at first is very dutiful and doesn't ask many questions about what's going on, and as the series goes on, obviously wants to know what has happened and how he could have done what he'd done to his family. This is a series that you really need in your life. If you're looking for a compact drama that you can pretty much watch in an evening, this has got 3 one-hour parts to it, then Stonehouse is definitely something worth checking out. It's got fantastic writing, excellent lead performances, and it's a show that has an almost unbelievable theme to it, but it's those shows that tend to be some of the best. This is about people, it's about politics, but you don't have to know anything about politics or have any interest in history to really enjoy this story. I'd recommend that you give Stonehouse a go. You can watch it if you're in the UK on ITV or on their brand new streaming service, ITV X. And if you are looking for other great things to watch, don't forget to check out all of the videos on Screen OD. Thanks so much for watching the review. I hope you enjoyed it and found it useful. If you did, why not hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We'll see you again for more videos very soon.